we'll learn how to apply 4 different vert kicks to 4 unique twist elements, creating at least 16 variations. Basic hyper kicks on the vertical axis are the pretext for understanding hyper kick variations on the horizontal axis. They are defined in 4 categories, so every 90 degrees is something different. So this becomes very important once we make that change, because the kicks themselves aren't important without understanding how we got to them. Those will be translated to become separate invert tricks in the next section. We have one last thing we want to do before we get there. Notice the dynamics there about kick and land on the kicking leg feel very different to the other 4 basics we just tried, because none of those have that property. And that means the last 2 techniques we can learn here in the first section are going to be just the standard round and hook, but with conversion to the horizontal axis. So this is the very first time we add inversion. And what I like to do is in order, land first, kick second, to make sure I can hold the landing. And that helps you find the appropriate positions from which to connect your inversion, which is a slant gainer, categorically backside takeoff, horizontal rotation, to the hook variation that we want to include upon landing for kick the moon. While you are training these, variations are a game of exaggeration. Don't begin by emphasizing the variation, begin by emphasizing the control and the consistency of your landing. If you can land consistently and safely, you can increase the quality of your execution anytime. If you go the other way around and you start with a face plant, I can't guarantee it'll work. Work on your transitions and your variations together to become more proficient and overall a more well-rounded tricking athlete. Vert spins are great for understanding position and how to increase rotation to complete the twist, but adding the inversion feels like the hard part. It still feels awkward. And that's where this piece comes in handy to fill in the gap in the learning process. And if you are going for a vertical spin and you fail to stop this process, it's going to carry you into the invert axis again. This can be good if you are using it to your advantage to control more inversion in the progression. You should always pay attention to your landings, always pay attention to where your balance is without the trick you're trying to learn, and if you have a balance error, fix it there. Otherwise, while you're busy adding rotation, you're losing your balance, and then you're left with a mystery. Why didn't I land my cork? Making sure we get all the way to backside for our starting position. Our rotation is going to need to begin here, and that starts the progression for how we know when we finish with a cork. You can use that to reach backside and perform back full, but for a cork, we need the gainer takeoff. Most people find slant gainer a little easier because of the takeoff to landing dynamics of switching body weight from left onto right. But you need this left leg to contribute, because otherwise, while you're trying to perform a cork, if it's trailing in the wind, it becomes very awkward and difficult to complete more rotation. Actually catches up the left leg, which we need to do to continue adding rotation in the trick. So even though it's less rotation and might feel a little more awkward, it's a piece we're going to need to carry with us as we go forward. Prioritizing the landing before increasing the rotation. Once you have that landing secured, you can advance to the next step. Now what you may find is you could be limited by the power you have available. And notice we haven't talked about the cartwheel setup. If you add more power than you can control, you are going to lose your ability to land that trick, which is a bad trade. If you have experimented with cartwheel in the past, hopefully this will fill in some of the holes in your understanding of how to keep that control consistent. And it's really the process of improving your proficiency at the early stages of the progression that unlocks the later ones. It should provide you with everything you need to continue developing your cart full and cork from here.